Welcome to Straight Outta Savannah, where the magic happens. I am super excited because my guest, Ariel Aimoto, is here. Dr. D, I'm going to tell you a little bit about her. So, she is the founder of Dreams to Reality Ranch Farm and creator of the 963 B4U platform, a transformational brand rooted in holistic wellness, food alchemy, and conscious living. Based in Fort Meade, Florida, Dr. D integrates regenerative farming, herbal education, and natural healing into hands on experiences that empower individuals to reconnect with the land and themselves. As a food alchemist and author of the Culinary Alchemy series, Dr. D teaches detoxification, plant based nutrition, natural home remedies, through media, music, and interviews. 963B for You amplifies voices in alternative healing, homesteading, and spiritual growth. Services include culinary classes, meal prep, biofeedback, ionic detox, crystal meditation, and wellness consulting. Product lines feature natural cleaners, soap nut solutions, beeswax wraps, and vegan foods. With the mission of turning land into healing, Dr. D is building a wellness ecosystem that merges education, community, and sustainable living. And all of the links to her social media, website, and ways to connect will be in the show notes. So, Dr. D, take it away.
Thank you for having me to this wonderful platform. Excuse me. I'm so glad to be here today and sharing so much information and loving energy out to everybody that wants to get to know themselves better, help their land better, and the earth is most especially is saying, Gaia is saying, thank you for the information that we have, but not polluting her, but helping her and breathing better and plant a tree, everybody. That's my goal. Everybody plant a tree. It don't matter how small it is, how big it is. Plant a tree. I went plant trees and they got trees for like $65. Little tiny tree, Barbados cherries. So if you plant a
Hmm.
tree, guess what you do? You plant a tree, you bring in oxygen, not only for you, but for others.
Yeah.
And you cleanse the land, and you're also getting food from it. And it's giving you medicine. Everything from everything gives you everything. I know you're like, what does that mean? It means that when you plant a tree, not only can you use the fruit, the leaves, the root, but the oxygen and the energy from the plant that you interact with, it actually helps you, it heals you, but also you give back by the energy you give back. You give that plant energy. Not only do you water it,
Mm.
feed it, weed it, take care of it, but you're giving that energy to sustain life. And why? It is important to be part of your plea. You're a part of your tree, or I want to say your land, which is you. So plant a tree. That's what I'm saying. It's very important. Plant a tree. Um, I've done so many things and so many, wrote so many books that is not even funny. And we're working, the CD that came out. So if anybody's been to my show, the music you hear for Coffee for Ori actually is a song that I created.
Beautiful.
Um, and 963B for You. I created that with the beats that you heard on a show ago of 963. The reason 963 is important is a frequency.
Yes.
It does the healing, it opens up abundance, it helps clear the pineal gland, it helps you get into the spiritual realm of talking to your ancestors, talking to angels, talking to your guide, talking to yourself. It helps decalcify that, oh my gosh, calcify that calcification of the brain that comes from the music we listen to, the food we eat, the
Yes.
shows we watch,
Yes.
the clothes we wear.
Hmm.
I mean, and the people we associate ourselves with.
Yes.
That in itself is a nutshell.
Yes.
Because sometimes, as I was saying, sometimes We are raising our vibration, and our vibration are high, and we don't want to be by ourselves. So we be like, come with me, because we don't want to be up there. But sometimes the angels, guides, and gods up there, she knows that, look, I got you. You came in this world by yourself, and you might be going out this world by yourself. You don't need that person. So I'm going to take them because they're a distraction for what your full potential.
Mm.
No disrespect. We want you to grow. We want you to learn. We want you to share. This person is taking all your energy and you're giving it to them, and you're not able to even use it for yourself and not even realizing. I'm just saying, we've got to work with ourselves. When they say you got this time for them to go, you got to say, okay, and just trust, my favorite word, the process. Because
Yes.
when
Yes.
you trust the process, you know that you're going to upgrade. And I always been telling people this for years. I'm always upgrading. I'm always upgrading. It
Yes.
seems like, like I'm a computer. So it's always an upgrade. Even my spiritual gifts, I'm like, oh, okay. I don't want to do this. They were like, oh, you think you don't want to do this? I'm going to show you what it is. And then they give you another gift that enhance the gift that you already had. And
Yes.
if you think you mastered that one, okay, we're going to give you something else and you're
Yes.
going to master that. So
Yes.
they keep going and stack. It's like a stack.
Yes.
Everything, there is no mistakes out there. Let me
No.
explain something to you, because a lot of us thinks we make mistakes.
Yes.
There is no mistake.
No.
There are opportunity for improvement. There are opportunity to open doors. There are opportunity to show you the bigger and better of your life and how it could go.
Mm.
So if you say, you know what, that's not for me, then it's not for you. But if it's for you, everything imagined will line up. Even, okay, give you an example.
Yes.
Not trying. I have, they say, let me rephrase that because
Yeah.
I claim nothing.
What you say is they diagnosed me with this.
Okay.
This is not me.
Right. The diagnosis does not make who I am, and they think that it does
Yeah.
because that's what they're going by. They diagnosed me with lupus, chronic rheumatoid arthritis, paralyzing oste, blah, 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 blah,
Right.
osteoarthritis.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I've been in numerous casts. I've been in and out of wheelchairs. I've had walkers. I've had swelling. You name it, I've had it. Let me explain even so. I broke my C1 to C7. No, I broke my C5 to C7 in a car
Ooh.
accident.
Mm.
And they said, you know what? They told my mama, my stepdaddy, my stepmama, who knows my medical like back and forth. She a nurse too. That's my mama. They said she's not going to walk, talk, or anything. She's going to be in the state of a vegetable. That's what they had said for
They
me in
visualized you?
that 2007, because my mate at the time will have the exact same injuries, but he transitioned right there. I will no longer say pass away because pass away is so blasé and no energy. He
Agree.
transitioned.
I agree because he's still here.
Bingo, that
Yeah.
one. You get
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
So when that happened, it's like, okay, my life was supposed to stop, but my life didn't. Guess what? I got out of the wheelchair. I got out of the hospital. Yes, I had surgery. I call myself, I was the first real bionic woman because I had titanium steel in my neck where it was hard for me to even hold up my neck. Okay. So, and that's all good, but it showed me I don't let things get me down because that is just a situation. I walked. I was not even in a wheelchair then. Okay. I had gotten out of the wheelchair prior to that. So that's just a little background to show when you're determined and you have a life purpose, that's when the spirit said, see, now you understand your life purpose. Let me explain to you. When spirit gives you ways to get out of this life, y'all have to believe that.
Yes.
My first time was being hit head on by an 18 wheeler with my son in a car.
Jesus.
18 wheeler in Pennsylvania in the snow. and I had to go to work because I was a nurse at the Town Hospital. Head on. My son was not injured because back then they didn't have regulation where the seat was. My son was in the front seat with me, with the seat facing backwards. Okay? So his life, he got a purpose and special. He just don't realize it. So sooner he will.
Yeah, he
But
does. Yes, he
head
does.
on,
Yes, he does.
hit me.
Yes, he does. We've been practicing that about our children. We
Okay.
speak what they are and not what they're not.
Okay. He's special
Yep.
and a beautiful way and
Yes.
very intelligent. My son is, I know he's a genius. He's a genius. I know that. Any person that can build a computer from just a couple of scraps and the gaming computer's worth $20,000 now. Okay. I realize not the average person can do that. And he's done
No.
that. So I was like, ooh, okay. But getting back to the accident, having that accident head on, going to work, only thing was bit was the axle on my car.
Oh shit.
That was it.
Wow.
Okay. So I went to work. The officer happened to be on my floor to visit a patient and my nurse, and he looked at me. He said, "What are you doing here?" And my nurse said, my supervisor said, "She works here." He said, "No, no, 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 ma'am. She was hit by 18-wheeler this morning with her son." And my nurse looked at me. She said, "I thought she was playing." He said, "No, ma'am." That was one way out. Okay. After that, my car was clipped 360 degrees on 309 in Pennsylvania. 369, my car spun around. Somebody just ran the light and clipped me. And that was out. Traffic this way, traffic that way, traffic in the front, traffic in the back. Highway 309, if y'all know it, is in Pennsylvania. Been there. It clipped me and it turned my car around. I sat there like that was action two. Okay? So spirit gives you ways out. The next accident was my car accident. My car, I was in Poconos in Pennsylvania where I know I'm not supposed to be. And I will not be going back because that's where all the accidents happen. Okay. I went in something called Bush Kill, where I lived at in the Poconos, in an exclusive community. 895 for 7 years. I had this dream of going off 95. It had a dot, but I seen 95. Told, if anybody don't believe me, you can ask or read, and he will tell you. I dreamed about this for 7 years of having this accident. And I was like, and the year that it happened, my dream stopped. I
Oh
never dreamed.
wow.
And the person, I already said the person with me died.
Mm.
So it came exactly like that. My car, no, my truck, let me like not a car. My truck went off the side of the mountain and went head down.
Mm.
I was able to climb out my vehicle. My mate was probably dead already. I don't know when, but I climbed out of that mountain. That's why I had the C5 and C7 in medical coma and all that other stuff. So when I say that spirit gives you a way out, I could have went out because when I was in medical coma, I had to make a decision whether I wanted to come or not come back.
I agree.
And I said right then and there, I don't want to go back to those beings. They're ungrateful. They're blah, blah, blah. I had a lot to say. And the reason I can retaliate and or say this is because my play mom was there and told me verbatim because she could see the struggle that I was having in the coma,
Yes.
whether to come back.
Hmm.
And I was talking to my husband at the time. I said, I don't like them. So my husband said, look in the pond. And I'm like looking in this fountain. And I'm seeing my son at a certain age. And he committed suicide
Oh,
because he couldn't deal with what I was dealing with,
because
that
he
I
didn't get his
take for
mama.
granted, that I give strength.
Yes.
So, and my husband said, do you want that for our son? Now, mind you, this is not his biological son, but he took on the role of being a dad and showing him from
That's
when he met him.
that's
So
what it,
he's his dad.
that's what a dad is. A dad
Right,
does not have to be the one to make them.
right.
Dad is the one
So,
that stayed, that was there.
bingo. So when he did that, I'm like, okay. He said, do you want him to go through this agony where you can come in? And if you've always been, and I took it seriously. And I'm like, okay, I gotta go back. Like I knew my daughter was gonna be okay. But my son was a different thing or a different energy. It
Yes.
already showed me. Yeah, my daughter was gonna be okay. And guess what? I came back. They put me in rehab. I was supposed to not walk, talk. They told my mother, even though it was not guaranteed that I would ever walk again.
Mm.
So when I walked out of the rehab, only being there for one day, they were shocked. And I went home with a nurse, and it was like, oh, okay.
One day.
One day. I don't like being told what to do. Number one, don't challenge me to do something. One day, when they put me in the ambulance from St. Luke's Hospital to get downtown center Philadelphia at Thomas Jefferson Hospital Rehab that they had me at, I said, okay. The lady said, I said, I don't want to be here. She said, if you can walk this floor and do all of this, then you can go home. Okay,
What you
bet,
say, bet?
bet.
I got this.
Don't tell me that I can't do something
Mhm.
because the thing is, when I feel something wrong with my baby and I ask my daughter a question, and my daughter's like, yeah, it's hunky dory. Guess what? Mama's coming home.
Yes.
And guess what? They were like shocked. They told my mother, oh, she's ready to be discharged. She's like, we just left there.
We just dropped her off.
Right. No, no, y'all just dropped her off, but we
Right.
just left there to come and visit her. Now you're telling me she's coming home? They were like, yeah, we're going to send her by ambulance and blah, blah, blah. And they had to do an ambulance because I couldn't go home regularly because, of course, I couldn't walk. And, of course, I had a nurse. But that don't stop me. Like my nurse found out, oh, you're unstoppable. I don't let someone dictate to me what I want to do. I dictate to you. And I've always said that to my daughter. My daughter had end-stage renal failure. Not born like that. Doctor calls that gave her medication to shut down her kidney at the age of 3. So that's why I learned to fight, as they say, verbally, educationally, and I make sure I have a good backing
Yes.
of doctors behind me. So when I'm going, because I got challenged a lot. But I told my daughter, you don't let them tell you what your illness is. You don't let that illness define you. You define what you want it to be. You do what you want to do. But in a way, I was a hypocrite because she wanted to eat chocolate. And I'm like, you're not supposed to eat chocolate if you got end-stage renal failure. You can't be eating this. So in a way, I told her that, but in a way, I was doing the opposite. You know what I mean? Telling her, yeah, you can do whatever you want, but I also want you to follow the rules too. But I also don't want you to follow the rules.
Yeah,
So,
he was talking out of both sides of your neck.
right. So I realized, like, dang, my daughter said, you know what, mom, you always told me about quality is more than quantity. I
Yes.
said, you're right. She said to me, my daughter knew she was transitioning. Me and my daughter were very close.
Yeah, I can tell.
Very close. And I love that because I made it my goal to be close to my children. They would not be afraid to tell me anything and
Yes.
everything and be open.
I
That is how I think we should all be as
I agree
parents.
with that because I did the same. And I think I was so young when I had them that I didn't know any other way to be. And I was always straightforward with them. And it's funny because my husband, the first time he heard me talk to my son, he looked at me like, you talk to him like that? I was like, yeah, because I didn't pull no punches and play games, and everything
Yeah.
is straight up. And I said, if I don't talk to them like that, they're gonna wonder what the hell is wrong with mama. I said, because that's how I've always talked to them. I didn't,
Bingo.
I didn't hide. There was only the one thing that I hid from them. But
Right.
any other time, I just gave it to them. Hey,
Right.
this is what's going on, and blah blah blah, and this is what we got to do, and blah blah blah. Because I felt like they deserve to know. And I was
They
like,
do.
I wanted them to be not be afraid to tell me anything.
There you go.
My
And
boys,
that's
my boys got that down. Because they talk to me about stuff sometimes. When they used to talk to me about things, I was like, you didn't have to tell me that. Like their girlfriends and things. What
well, that's a
they
beautiful thing.
did.
But that's a beautiful thing that they felt comfortable that they could talk to you. And that's
Yes.
what I've always wanted, for my children to be able to be free. I
Yes.
don't want them to feel like they're trapped. And I don't want, like I told them, don't let anybody define who you are. You define yourself and you be your absolutely best that you feel. If that's not, they don't feel that's your best, that's their issue. That is not yours. And they don't need, and if somebody cannot accept you for who you are,
You
then
don't
you
need them in your life.
bingo, step off. I
Yep.
don't care who it is. I said, my job as your mom is to hold you like this. So
Yes.
when you lean into the side, I got you. When you lean to that side, I got you. So
Yes.
you always know mom's there.
Yes.
That is what I always wanted to be. I don't care whether you're gay, straight, trans,
None of that.
purple, pink. I don't care
None of
what
that.
race you date. That's how I felt because I want you to be you. I'm
Yes.
going to stop you from being you because I have these preconditioned or pre-programmed ideas of what your life should be or what I was taught that
Or
your
wait,
life
or
should
you
be.
want to live your life through them.
Right.
Since
No,
you didn't get to do, you want them to doing all this stuff, which is so horrible.
that's too much pressure.
It is too much, and that's why these kids are unaliving themselves young because they feel all this pressure, and they are different than the other kids anyway. These kids
Their
are
vibration.
way more sensitive,
That
and it's like, no, you can't do that. You know what I mean? And I see that in these kids when I talk to them and when I look at them because for some reason I always get these young girls talking to me. They want to pick my brain and they want some wisdom and stuff. I
that's
think what
fine.
it is when they realize that I'm not their age. Because they look
Mm-hmm.
at me and they think I'm their age. They be 30. And I'm like, no, like I have children older than that. And then they want to talk, So I get
Right.
a lot of them, and I notice they're not. They are
Well,
so, I think that they're strong, but I believe that they are way more empathic than the other generations. You know,
yeah,
it's like they feel things more.
but also you got to realize that a lot of the parents were so busy working
Oh yeah,
that they forgot to sit down. Like where I grew up, my grandmother talked to me, my
yes,
abuela, my grandmother, my great granny, my nanny. They had a hand in all in this little pot that they built.
yes.
So the cooking, the sewing, the herbs, the plants and stuff. I grew up, you made everything. Where all this new generation, you buy cans, you go to the supermarket. We didn't go to the supermarket like that. I think they had an Acme or AM/PM or something like that. They were just starting up like these stores.
Hmm,
They
hmm.
were not really big like that. And we didn't go to like everybody go to McDonald's or Burger King, and that was a big thing. That was not a big thing. I did have
You got that about once a month for us. And we would
okay.
go to Crystals, because Crystals you could get 10 burgers for $2. So, so we would go, yeah, they were 10 cents a piece back then. And so we would
Isn't
go,
that White Castle? You mean White Castle?
White Castle is the one up north, Crystals is down south.
Oh, okay. See, I
Same
yeah.
shit. Same little
Okay.
nasty sandwiches with barely any meat on them. But they were 10
Yeah.
cents. So we would go, and grandma said you could get 10. My cousin would go, we'd get 10, and then we could split some fries. And then you could get a small, either grape or orange drink,
Wow.
which I don't rarely drink today because, you couldn't get a Coke sometimes you get a Sprite, or a 7 Up, but you had to have
Wow.
orange or motherfucking grape.
Dang. Oh wow. Okay. See, I didn't
That
even
was, but that was once, about once a month. I think she usually would take us and do that. But most of the time they cooked and, because grandma had a garden.
that's a
in the backyard in the city in the dirt. I don't know. I said that was nothing but God.
Hello. Take the peppers, hang them up in the windowsill. People don't realize. Make their own hot sauce. You know, my pop up, he would make split pea soup. It was
Ooh,
always peppery.
I like
It
that.
was always peppery. He like, and it black eyed peas he would
Mm.
make. And they were like, right. I said, look,
I want me
there's a
some boiled
difference.
peanuts. I just looked up something from Vidalia. I think I'm gonna order me some because I wanted some boiled peanuts.
That's all they selling here in Florida. Everywhere you go, boiled peanuts,
I
boiled
know,
peanuts.
girl. You know, my people are from Georgia, and every year I say, "Can y'all send me some?" I had a girlfriend in in South Carolina that would send me some, but then something happened to their peanut crop one year, and so we didn't have any. And then I had my sister. Well, my grandmother used to send them to me when I lived here before.
Right.
I was craving them, and I loved them so much, and I was pregnant, and I called her, and I was crying. So she
Oh,
boiled them and put them in a box and put the stuff, the dry ice or whatever, and sent them. Sent them
see,
like next day or 2 days or something. But all the other people, they'd be like, "Oh, I'll send you some." I said, "Well, I'll give you some money." "Oh no, that's all right." Well, I'll never get them. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna do just like I do my crabs. I order blue crabs usually once a year in the summer. I order a half a bushel because I love them so much. And so I
right.
ordered them from Maryland because the same thing. My family was like, "Oh, we'll send you some." And I'm like, "Yeah, you people don't know how to do mail." I said, "Let me just reach out to this company and let them send it." Because I'm like, because here you can get them in the can, but those things aren't good.
Wouldn't eat anything out of can.
It's one of those things where if you just really gotta have it,
I get
you
you.
really got a taste for it,
No, I still
go on
wouldn't
the,
do it.
you could go on the base and get a can.
Oh, oh.
Because that's,
That's
the
okay.
base
They can
stuff.
keep that.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, they can keep it, but no, 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 ma'am. They can have it.
Girl, I told somebody I went and got one time, I was so bad. I went and got regular roasting peanuts and soaked them and
Hmm.
then boiled them. Now, to me, they're not as good, but it was better than nothing. So let's talk a little bit about, we're going to talk a few more minutes. I want to talk a little bit about your platform, the 963B for you. It amplifies voices in alternative healing and spiritual growth. And I've seen you have some amazing people that do different things on there,
Right.
which I think is awesome. What role do you think the community play in helping people step into their own authority and break generational patterns around health, survival, and self-trust? So it's going to take you into what you just were talking about
Well,
deeper.
well, basically, community is very important that we depend on each other.
Yes.
Without your community, you cannot grow.
Yes.
That's number one. Because if you remember the old, as they say, the old African proverbs, it takes a whole village to raise one child.
Yes.
One child.
And that's
They
true.
didn't say two, one child.
That is
So,
true. That's true.
so you need those individuals. You need to know your doctor. You need to know your dentist. You need to know your eye doctor. You need to know the Sohana, the naturalist, the super, we call the natural healer, the integrated medicine, the person that goes out in the spiritualist in your community and what they do and what they offer, the herbalist, the herb store. These are all part of your community that helps your community grow. You need to know who fixed what, when, and there, the electricity to the plumbing, because you might have a light or something that needs to be fixed. And if you don't know them or don't know somebody like me, I just moved here. I gotta learn and find my community. But
Yes.
if you know who's in your community, make yourself seen in your community.
Yes.
And my thing is you always give to your community. You don't take from your community. You
Yes.
always bring something. My
Yes.
grandmama said, when you go somewhere, you bring and you upgrade something or you make it nicer than you found it. You
Yes,
don't
I was
take
gonna
it.
say they say leave them better than you found it.
Yep.
I
You
did
don't
that. I
take
did
from
that
it.
with men too.
We always do that
I
with
was like,
men.
I'm all better than we found.
Right. And then they like, that was one thing. I said, I learned I make men, he gets better and he think, oh, well, now I'm the diamond, I'm this, I'm that. And now that they think, oh, now everybody want me, then you go get that one particular woman and you find out, no, it really wasn't you, darling. It was the lady that was with you before that made you feel like you was a king. Now
Yes.
you want to come back. No, sir. Another thing that I learned from my son's father, you go forward, you never go backwards.
No,
If
no.
you left them for a reason. You
Yes,
never go backwards.
I
But
agree.
getting back to the community, if you can integrate yourself with the community, what's going on from the farmers market to the farmers to everything, then you are integrated. They know who you are. You know where to get your food supplies from. You know where everything is, then you can get help because you come together as a community, not as a individual. And
Yes.
that is what I'm kind of having a hard time culture wise on the mainland or of the US, we call it. From Guam to Hawaii is the US. I've learned to live and work as a community, as a unit. I got your back, you got my back. I talk to you, you do this. Um, we have a problem with that. And I'm hoping it's going to get better.
I'm going to speak on that. I do feel like it is getting better because
Okay.
we do have a problem. I've seen it. And I notice other cultures don't do it like that. And for me, I never lived around family when I was raising my kids. I think one time, once or twice, and not long.
Hmm.
So most of the time we were someplace where we didn't have family. But I created community. I
There
created
you go.
my village. I was talking to a young lady the other day, and I was sharing with her about that. I said, you have this child. I said, I created my village. I said, because I didn't have family. I said, and then, the ones that I did have, I didn't want my children in those environments. And so
Right.
I created it. I had
There you
friends,
go.
and people that I met, people that I worked with that became friends and different things. And we created community so that I had, people like I always attract older people because I was raised around old people.
Right.
Older people, older women always would be, around me. I tell people I have all kind of mothers, people that mothered me all over, the South, especially or the East Coast, because that's where I mostly was migrating. And I had people that would just step in, and I didn't ask for it or anything, but I believed that the frequency that I carried and they knew that I needed, especially after my grandmother passed. And
Yep.
before she transitioned, I could just reach out to her, you know.
Spirit's always, not to interrupt, but spirit's always going to give you what you need. And
Yes,
that's what I learned. I grew up with five different men that would be considered my father. Five. So I have more of a masculine, people say energy, heavy authority that I walk with because of
yes,
that. And it's okay. And I'm fine with that. I was a tomboy. I learned something from each and every one of them.
yes,
I was raised around older women that learned to cook, clean, and could sew, and the recipe of doing chicory with coffee and eggshells, stuff like that. I learned my stepmom, um, to be in nursing and what it is to be nurturing as a woman, a mother, and what a role a mother and a woman should do from her. Okay, my aunt, go and put it out there. My aunt, as people say, I'm bougie. The reason I'm bougie is because I was exposed to bouginess. I went to the club, the museum, the art gallery, plays, certain things that people didn't. I was in New York because my aunt wanted to go to New York. We went there, we seen plays, I seen the Rockettes, I center, you name it. My aunt took me. All I had to do was say, TT, I want blah, blah, blah. Auntie, blah, 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 blah. Guess what? When I came for the weekend, I had Twinkies. I had, uh, what is it, Breyer's ice cream. I was spoiled. So, of course, I was a princess. So, what do you think?
look.
So, I'm like, I was okay.
So you,
So,
so you're supposed to grow up to be a queen.
thank you. So, I told her that, and she was like, I don't want people to think I raised you to be bougie. I didn't do that. I was like, it wasn't anything I could not have. If I wanted it, Andy, da 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 da
And there
da.
ain't nothing wrong with that.
Well,
She's
now
like,
she's older. She don't want people to know that I said that. She's like, don't be telling people I made you bougie. She's like, that's
exactly.
very
There's nothing wrong
negative. I
with
said, no, it's
that.
not.
It's nothing wrong. It's not, ladies, it's nothing wrong with being bougie. I
Yep.
used to tell people all the time, I'm spoiled as hell. I have
There you go.
always been spoiled. I was like, when I was a little girl, something you said, I used to
Hmm.
say, don't nobody tell me what the fuck to do. And I'm still like that.
Right.
I say that out of my mouth as a little girl. I'd be like, no, I don't know why you think you can tell me what the fuck to do. You know my mama or my daddy and shit, they don't tell me what to do. So I'm gonna let you stand here and no, absolutely not.
I get you. But I appreciate that because my aunt gave me so much more to look for as a kid
Yes,
growing up,
yes.
always older. But the
Exposure.
things that I was exposed to, most kids didn't know. So when I was talking about plays and the Phantom and the operas, they're looking at me like, what? I'm grateful for that because I was able to like my kids, my children, we was just the three of us and we moved from one state to another state. They went with me to college and the whole 9 yards. So everybody knew I was a bad mamma jamma with my children.
Mhm.
Don't go there. And they would say, uh, did your mom approve this? And they were like, look, like, what do you mean? Because if you I don't want no smoke. Now I'm short. I'm only 5'3", but they knew, and this is even at the Culinary Institute of New York. They
5 feet,
feared me. 5 feet. Okay, 5 whole feet.
five
And
both
they
feet.
feared me. But they treated my children with respect. But
Yeah.
also, I raised my children. We are the three musketeers. We count on each other. I got your back, you got mine, I got Lacey. So when you come for one, you coming for all. So if you step to my son, you're gonna have to deal with my daughter, that his little mama. She's the little mama because she's only 5 feet. She's not 5'1", she's 5 feet. And then you got the big mama who was 5'3". I'm 3 inches taller than her, but that's how we rolled. And that's how we were close. We had a different relationship. We talked, and I'm not saying it was perfect,
Right.
but the thing is, my children respected me and I respected them for their knowledge. And my children protect me. They did the best they could to protect me. If they felt somebody, they let me walk around with rose-colored glasses for many years. My daughter did anyway, to her passing. And that's when I got to see, ooh, they were really ugly. And she'd be like, I was trying to tell you that. You're just so nice. And then my son's like, well, you just like give and don't think. And I was like,
I
well, I
didn't
had
think
my
about that.
rose-colored glasses
Look,
on.
look, I didn't think about that.
Yeah. And I was,
You know what? I can identify with that because I tell people I struggle, and I don't want to say this out loud, so don't tell anybody, y'all. I struggle, I struggle with like cleaning and things like that because
uh-huh.
my daughter took care of all of that. Like when would move, this girl
Hmm.
would have my whole house in place. I would go to work and I would come
Uh-huh.
the next day and she would have my whole house in place. And this she did this for years,
Wow.
because she was an organizer. She always organized. Her room was the cleanest one in the house and all this stuff. And so she would do that. And so I didn't have to do it because I went to work.
Right.
I went to work a lot. And then you talked about quality time. My
Hmm.
kids know about that because we
Yeah.
had quality time. I would go and I would
Bingo.
work a week or two, and then we would go on vacation. We'd go to
Yep.
Florida. I'd take them to Disney, wherever they wanted to go, Myrtle
Hmm.
Beach, whatever. And we would do that,
See, you
but
like
I
me.
worked and I, took care of everything. And I knew that this was what I had to do. But my child, she would just organize and she would get her brothers in order. Come on over
Hmm.
here, you do that, you do that, you do. Because she was a general.
Right. Hey,
But
it's okay.
I appreciate that so much,
Mhm.
but now I'm struggling. Like I told her one day, I said, you don't want to come here and help me organize this. So you don't want to come here and help me organize this house? I said, that was never like, I was a tomboy like you. I was not looking at all the girly things and
Right.
rating and all that other kind of stuff. I used to go outside and play football with the boys and
Bingo. That
jump
one.
off the house. My cousin was Shazam and I was Almighty Isis.
I
Girl, we would jump
like it.
the top of the roof of the house. Now, luckily, it wasn't that tall,
Girl,
but we
being
were little,
blessing. Boy, I
right?
have cousins that would do that. Boy cousin, they always dare you. You do that, I do that. You do that. Oh, okay, yeah.
Oh, girl,
So,
I feel so bad. I would set it all up. It was me and my cousin we're 10 months apart. So I'm older. He's 10 months behind. And I would always set up these elaborate things that we did. We would go outside and play because we had a backyard and it was down a lane. And so we had
mhm.
all this stuff. And then it was another little open area where it was like somebody's lot. And so we go play football there and sometimes in the lane, and then I would set up all these elaborate things that I saw on the cartoons
Oh my gosh.
on Batman.
Oh my,
We watched Batman every day at 4 o'clock if you had your homework done.
oh my
I would
gosh.
set up all these things and we would make the costumes and put our little stuff like we took trash bags and made our capes and or sheets or a towel or something. And then we would make the thing and I would borrow somebody's wig and do things. And then we played church and all these things, but I would set up all these elaborate things and stuff. But my cousin never outed me because they
See,
thought he did it. They never believed
ooh,
I did it. That I was
see,
the mastermind.
see, but that's good.
But he would get caught. That was the problem. I wouldn't get caught. So he
Like,
would
what's
get
wrong
caught.
with you?
Mhm.
Like, that's okay. And never
Right.
outed you. So that's beautiful. Now they know. They like, okay, now we know she was the real troublemaker. Yeah.
I would be like, oh yeah. Well, all we got to do is we can slide down this pole, like they did on the Super Friends.
Oh gosh. See, yeah, I like stuff like that. See,
Right?
I was like, it's different. Matter of fact, a cousin sent me a picture Sunday of what we look like back in the day. And girl, you see as black as this is, like the only thing you can see is my teeth from me smiling. That's how dark I was. I was like, you can tell we love the sun.
I was gonna say,
I
we still
mean,
didn't have to go
girl,
outside. Not like these
no,
kids.
see,
You
we
couldn't stay
weren't
in the
afraid
house.
of the sun back in the day. Well, as kids, we were not afraid of the sun,
No, because the
not
sun
like
was
we are
good.
now. Yeah, girl, be in the sunlight. Okay. So my hair, I was dark as my hair. Okay. I'm telling you, if you think I'll show you a picture, no lie. I was dark as my hair, and she sent me that picture. I was like, okay, because I can get dark, but I didn't realize now that I'm getting older, you're getting lighter and lighter. I was like, wait a minute, what happened to the melanin in my skin?
You
It
know
like, did
what?
it
I
disappear?
noticed that as well. My husband actually noticed. He went, I'm looking at your little girl picture. He goes, and you got lighter. And I'm like, how is that even possible? I was like, I
It's
think it's the,
possible.
the quality of the picture. That's what I'm
No, no, seriously.
saying.
That because of it's happening, but it's happening to a lot of people.
Yeah.
Like we're upgrading, like I was saying,
Yes.
as our body upgrades, different shifts for different things. And sometimes it's the energy. I'm gonna say this, I don't know. It's like, okay, they're saying we're in 3D dimension, but sometimes our body is holding 7D energy in a 3D body. So when that does, what happens to the rest of the thing? It's shaking and other things get loose. So it can't contain that energy. So it has to go out. So it kind of damage the 3D body a little bit to it can grow a little bit. So if you're really
I
going,
get
your
that.
body does not necessarily, for me, I learned does not go in 4D. It goes from 3 to 5. It skips 4D sometimes. And I got to say, some individuals will skip 4D to go into 5D. But when you're working consistently and you've been to 5D, sometimes you come down to 3D because our body does shift.
Yes.
And people don't realize, okay, you can be in 3D. There's like, I was telling people maybe 20 years ago. There are some people that were actually meeting that were in 2D dimension. Do you know what 2D dimension energy is like? And they were like, no. I said, it's dense, it's hard. And the people are full of, they can't make decisions at all.
Right.
They're so stuck. Like like, I don't want to go forward, but I don't want to go backwards. I don't.
Like
And
they live in doubt and they
th-
don't have any faith at all.
bingo.
It's
That's
like they
second
stay
D.
in that frequency, and it's like, and you meet these people all the time, and you're like, I used to meet them, and I didn't understand that part of it at that time, but I would
Hmm.
see him, and I'm like I told my husband one day, I said, I don't really like him. He's icky.
So they just like call it out.
Mean, it
Just
wasn't
call
even, because I couldn't put my finger on exactly what it was, but just icky. And I was like, I'm not going to be in that energy. Mm-mm.
right. No, and you shouldn't. Again, about keeping who is in your presence and
Yes,
who you listen to.
yes,
Like a lot of people like watching horror movies. And I said, no, that is training your body to be in fear all the time. And
yes,
you're scared. Guess
yes,
what you're doing? What is that energy doing? It's feeding the energy that wants you to be in fear anyway. So you're toppling them over. It's like they run the jackpot every time you go to see Freddy Krueger, Mike, uh, I
yeah.
don't know that all those
One that did
people.
the dream thing, and the other one that did the whatever, the Halloween thing. Michael, yeah.
Right. I can't. You're right. There you go. I could remember. So, or the new one where the eclipse or apocalypse or things.
Those are the ones, girl. Those are the ones. I just can't
Right.
really stand them. My husband loves them. I'm like,
So,
no. I'm like, I've already watched 10 seasons of the fucking Walking Dead.
nope.
I'm not doing
I
any more of that.
I stopped watching that when I was like,
It's
okay,
programming.
there's something behind this, and my spirit was like, no, guess what? It's not. Just like, okay, for me, even watching my novellas, my Mandarin novellas, I love them, but spirit will be like, you've had enough. And it's programming because it's always some man doing something to the woman and disrespect.
Well, and it's
Okay,
super drama is what the fuck it is.
right.
That and those oh girl, those Mexican novellas just they
I've
took
been
it
there too,
to
with the
another
dramas with the
place.
maid and the nurse and all of this stuff. So basically,
It's
what
even
I
worse than
learned.
our soap operas.
Right.
I'm
When
like,
you
oh.
do that, guess what? You're calling that energy to you. So guess what? You might meet that person that you met. I don't need to call that kind of energy. I don't deserve that. I deserve better. So of course I'm going to meet somebody that's going to be great. Of course I'm going to meet somebody that has money. Of course I'm going to meet somebody. See, these are how I dispel them. No. And that's why I said, okay, well there I can watch a little bit or I can listen to something, but I'm going to make sure it's positive. So what I watch is maybe the woman, she's coming out on top. She don't have to be reborn. She just used her brain. Look, I know this is not right. I smell this. I'm doing this. So when I watch like that, I'm also not, and the reason I watch is to learn Mandarin, and that gets me a little bit better. But also, it opens my mind to other things, like the different when they have recipes for the different ones, and they're talking about the different mushroom, and they have the reishi mushroom, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to check that out because 9 times out of 10, if they have it in these and they're doing it for something, guess what? There is a cure that they're using it for. Okay, well, I know the meridian when she did the acupuncture, it wasn't right like this, but when she did it she did this. So is that the loom point or whatever point? So when I go back to my acupuncturist, guess what? I done learned something. So I ask spirit, look, put these things that I'm going to learn from and grow from, not
Yes.
something that's going to detract from me and make me sad because they should have won. I want to see the woman that is turning good luck where she can go into a portal and turn her look around and she's able to conjure up positive things. Because I do that. Since I do that, I can relate. Okay, you went in and you took something to make something out of nothing. Like I was told, if life give you lemons, you can make lemonade,
Lemon
you can
meringue
make
pie,
lemon pie,
lemon
lemon
pound
curd,
cake,
right? Lemon anything. You make as much as you
and
can
a
out of
pound
those
cake.
lemons. So that's how I see life. Life is like lemons, and they give it to you, and you use it in every way possible. Okay, you
It's
gave
like
me
a
that.
box of chocolates.
Oh, honey, yes. I love my chocolates. Let me make my
What about the
chocolates better.
plant-based chocolate, girl? What about the plant-based?
Yeah, yeah.
I
Now
saw
I
something that
mix
said plant-based chocolate, and I looked at that thing and I said, and then I laughed and I said, chocolate is plant-based. What are they talking about?
because sometimes they put milk in the chocolate.
Okay, okay. So
to
poison.
make milk chocolate. But I've been making vegan chocolates forever, truffles. And they're like, what? I was like, all you need is some cocoa, some coconut butter, some agave, some maybe some cinnamon or whatever your spices is. Get some peanut butter, make your own Reese cups. Guess what? You're healthy. And guess what? You got your own Reese cups. And all you got to do is get to the peanut butter is agave or honey or coconut sugar if you like the coconut taste. To me, that's simple. That's why I love my daughter, because I would see something on TV and I'd be like, you know what, I could do that. I can veganize that. So that's what we say. We're going to veganize that. So our family, we would make tamales, empanadas, pasteles. We make sofrito. We make, what else? My son makes good chicken adobo,
Mm,
pollo adobo,
that's some good
frio
stuff.
pollo. So,
Mm.
he makes so many different things. My son makes bueno arroz. Bueno, bueno. So, I mean, good rice. Like I have the good
You
rice.
know what? I knew what you were talking about because I
Okay.
studied my Spanish too. Duolingo.
So I'm thinking like, okay. So when I'm happy, sometimes I go into Spanish. So just like,
You know what
because
it
I'm thinking
is,
about
too? It's my energy
there.
because I feel yours.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm literally buzzing right now.
Oh, so I love the food. I love music. I love these are things that if we want to enhance ourselves, and I guess this was very because it's like we need to listen to music that is going to enhance. So
Yes.
everything that is on the album Dreams to Reality is about seeing beyond, working on beyond, and open up the gates to the galaxy and cosmic. Those are some of the titles on the song, and it shows you. My goal is I would like to have whale sounds and dolphin sounds, but I
Ooh,
haven't figured out how to actually get where I can get dolphin sounds and whale sounds and integrate them with the different music that Spirit is downloading
what
to
about
me.
what about something like Chat GPT?
JetGPT couldn't help me because
Um,
they would give me because I have frequencies that I have. I
right.
have the biofeedback. So
Mhm.
I want to do it when people come and visit me, that's what they'll have. But my calling is because I love dolphins and I love mermaids.
So
Uh, they,
mermaid
so
girl,
I told Ori many years ago, I was a mermaid. And he's like, what do you mean? I said, I'm not the little mermaid you guys think of, like the little tiny human. I was stored 9 stories of a mermaid that, and then I talked to a friend that he said, and I said, and the funny part is I came on land and I got legs and I went into a house or whatever, was docking or whatever, and as soon as I went into the pool, I started to grow. So from that pool, was able to jump back into the ocean. Now, mind you, my legs turned into a tail.
yeah.
And it was like, okay. And then I talked to a friend. He said, do you know that was done? Not the thing that a whale actually, when the water was coming in South America, that the whales over 4,500 years ago, the whales went into the inland and was there. And when the water retreated, they was there and they grew legs. And when they got near to the water, they went back into the shape. And I was like, is that not spirit like talking, to me? So I get relatively good dreams, but spirit has been working with me since I've been yay high. I've death walked with me since a baby. Um, no death. Me and death is cool. Like after that, walking with death, they're like,
I was gonna
the
say
opposite
you
of
face
death is
it.
life.
I was gonna say when you
Right.
face it,
Right.
so
So
it's
that's like,
something.
so I don't have no fear. They were like, what?
Okay.
I said, I used to fear death, but I'm at the point like, I'm cool. Like death is like, you know what? It's not an ending, it's a different beginning and it's a transition from what you are. And I've transitioned so many times. If anybody's did hypnosis, I set self-hypnotize myself. And I was supposed to be doing it for this lady. And this lady told me, go home, go to relax, blah, blah, blah. She said, Spirit told me you can hypnotize yourself that you don't even need to come to my class. I'm like, what? I drove an hour. Now, I was in Arizona at the time. I drove all the way from Tempe, downtown Phoenix, down on 7th Avenue
Uh-huh.
and the little spiritual section that they had there. I'm going down and she gonna tell me that. I was like, I got my money. Like first I thought maybe it's a money thing. She was like, no, they telling me you can go home and do it yourself. I was too through. But she said, if you want me to take your money, I can take it. But I was like, okay, I'll go home. I tried it. But I put myself in such a state that I was able to go into a gas-like state. And people like, what? And I was like, yeah, do you know that we can exist in a gas-like state? And the state, and it was actually magenta.
Hmm.
And I was like, okay, what is that about? And then years later, I went through a friend. Where I know I heard something. Um, I went through and now I lost my thought.
It'll come back.
Okay. Um, I went through gas like state in that hypnosis. And then I was trying to explain to someone, a girl later on did QTC Doris Cannon
Yeah,
thing.
QH something
Yeah,
QT.
QH something. Yeah. She called herself putting me under, but she really couldn't put me under. So I was like, let me help this child out because she was trying to own her degree. So I was like, okay, let me put myself under. And she was asking questions. And I was like, I just said anything that came to my mind. It wasn't true. We recorded it and I could tell, like, no, you were not in a stream state. So then I decided, you know what? That night when I got home, I went into a gaslight state because she was trying to get me to go on a state and go through doors. And I'm like, I'm not seeing no doors. I'm seeing, what I'm seeing is where I'm at. And I was like, I'm very open, but then spirit's like, everybody's not for everybody. And
Parts. Every
so
everybody's not for everybody. Everybody's not.
the energy's unmatched. Now she's I felt she's a higher level now because she's done a lot of stuff. Like Ratha. You ever hear of Ramatha?
No.
Rantha. She's
Got
a
it?
spiritual guru. She's out there where you are in Washington. And Yelm. And
Oh,
Yelm.
that's not far from me.
Yeah.
Yelm is
Ramtha has a farm out there. Ramtha.
hour and a half, I think.
Ramtha. Ramtha.
Mm.
And she has a teaching of you using your mind and going out there and doing a day and being able to find whatever you put on a board, but you don't know where it is and you find it and you go right to it. It's more of going out the subconscious. She's teaching people that you are the God. You are the God.
I already got that. I that ooh. So
Okay?
my
But
grandmother was teaching this way back when she was way before her time, and people thought she was crazy. But
people
she
think I'm crazy
was,
because I told.
you
If you
know,
go back and listen, find out anything on Blog Talk. If you ever go on Blog Talk, I happen to listen to my old stuff. What I was telling people, you are God. You are the one we're searching for. And then all of a sudden, 10 years later, I hear you are the one we're searching for.
uh-huh.
And I met, what's her name? Dr. Evij. Her name Evij. She started saying it, and I was like, I say, you know what? Because when I used to do shows, I didn't realize what spirit was saying. You were channeling. We
Yes.
were coming through you when
Yes.
you were with these individuals. So
Yes.
when you were saying stuff, they're like, what? And I said, we're always searching. And Spirit said, we need to stop searching. We are the ones we've been searching for.
So we've got to come home.
Bingo.
That's what we have
To
to do
yourself.
to
And
ourselves.
I told him, I said, if you don't know that you're a God, That's a problem. I said, read their Bibles. They tell you. If
In
that's
every
what
one of them, in every one.
and your
In the
Torah,
Bible, in the Torah, in the Quran, what's
yep,
the other one? The World Order. I looked in
yep,
the Latter-day Saints Bible, the Mormons Bible.
bingo, yep.
They
The
all
Mormon
say
Bible,
that,
child, please,
but they
yes.
all ignore it.
Because you know why? Because then they wouldn't have an organization.
Oh,
They
exactly.
wouldn't have they wouldn't have sheeple.
Or
And
a
if you're
caste
not
system even.
right, so then there's also the separatism.
Yeah,
So this is again like you're Mormon, I'm atheist, I'm Pentecostal, I'm Buddhist, I'm this, I'm
Catholic.
that. And even the Buddhists have different, there's Zen Buddhists,
Right, right.
and then there's SGI Buddhists,
Mm-hmm.
and then there's another Taoist Buddhist, and there's Tao,
Mm-hmm.
and there's Dao. And
Mm-hmm.
people don't, I said they're Buddhists and the same, some of them the same possibly, but some of them like they don't believe in reincarnation. And then what I was learning that some of them don't believe Hindu, don't believe in the living word. Some of them, I'm not saying that's what Hindus do, but some of them don't believe the living, the words are alive. Like Nam yo ho renge kyo. Nam yo ho renge kyo basically is love. But that from my understanding, these words are dead. But let me tell you what gives them life. We, the
I was going to
energy
say
that
the energy
comes,
that we have
bingo.
that
When you
everyone
say your
wants to
prayers,
harvest.
our Heavenly Father, our Heavenly Mother, the energy that you feel. I pray for this, I pray for that. The mother's prayer, the father's prayer, the child's prayer is because it's made with energy, and that energy you're opening. We are the portal.
Yes,
We
we are.
don't realize we're the portals and we hold many vortex with inside ourselves. We are the galaxy, but we don't understand how we are the whole galaxy
Yeah.
because we're still stuck in this solid form. I was like, wake up, wake up. How do you deal with that? And they were like, you know what? Spirit said, they're not ready for this. You know what? It's not my problem. As my friend would say, Lester Loving, I just cast the seeds like Johnny seeds. Just cast the seeds, and whoever needs it, they'll plant it, they'll grow, and if not, and if they want more information, they'll come to Johnny Seed and get the information. But no longer be afraid of what you do or how you do what you do, because there's only one you,
Yes.
and that's because when you, each one of us is an expression of God.
Yes.
Each one of us.
Yes.
We just give God a different opportunity to get different opportunities to grow and
Yes.
learn. God wants to learn too. So he's learning through us.
Because we're experiences of God. That's what we are.
Bingo.
Once we get to the point where we recognize that about ourselves, because what it is people always want to give away their power to something outside of them.
Bingo.
You can't be doing that. You have to, accept your power because it's within you, and you are God. And I tell people all the time, I'm like, all you got to do is just know. I said because there are those times when you just got to be still and know. That
Hmm.
is what your job is at that moment. Especially like when you're going through stuff challenging with your body and your health, your finances, all these things. You just got to be still and know.
Hmm.
Just be still and know. Now,
But
is that
also,
easy?
no. So what you do
No.
is surround yourself with people that have that same thought of
Yes.
mind.
Yes.
Because if you find somebody that has a lesser thought of mind, they will drag that energy down.
Yep.
And sometimes people will like say, well, I'm pulling away. I'm pulling away. Is that helping you or hurting you?
Yes.
So you got to think is, do I want them around me or do I not? And if spirit is pushing them away, again, I'm going to say this because spirit's like, say it again. If they're pushing them away, let them stay away. And if they're meant to be, they'll come back. You don't have to search because I used to do that. I'll call you, call you, call you, call you, call you, call because I want to know if you're okay, are you okay, are you okay? You know what spirit's like? My
Yeah.
son's like, Mom, mm-mm. You don't have to save everybody. Step back. If they don't want to be bothered, don't bother them. Give what you give. If they don't give, you don't give. If they don't do, you don't do. He said, I know that's not what you normally do. He said, but I'm gonna tell you, you gotta stop giving more than you getting because you're getting robbed. And
I just have decided, I had decided probably, I think we talked about this. I decided one day I just sat down and I said, you know what? I am not giving any more pearls to the swine. I'm done. I'm
yeah,
done. And then I decided that I'm going to put myself out there and I'm going to be authentically who the hell I am.
all right,
And I'm going to do the work that God is calling me to do. And
okay,
if God has sent you to me, then you come on and we'll get started. We'll work it out. I said, but otherwise, no, I'm not giving any more pearls to the swine. Not doing it.
makes sense. I agree with you, but like my son is my wake up call. My
Yeah.
son is my report card. Like I say, your children are your report. I told that many people yes. Your children are your report cards. Meaning sometimes they're not, okay, because we do have some that run a ruckus, okay. But you
Yeah.
gotta also remember that just like they got you, they daddy in them too. So
Absolutely.
sometimes that comes from that, and
Yes.
sometimes because it can be influential, they'll go to that side, that other side. So don't take it personal. Like, because when they were like, "Oh, my son robbed the bank," well, you got to remember what did his daddy do? What was
Right.
his daddy like? Why was what was his grandfather like?
Yeah.
Because we really hold our DNA in our structure as well as especially our RNA,
Yes.
which people don't talk about. Oh, we're on DNA. But the RNA plays a very much part, just like the DNA in your
Yeah.
blood. And you got to realize these are your ancestors. When is the last time you sat down and talked to your ancestors? Do you know who your ancestors are? Do
Yeah.
you know who you come from? Why? Because a lot of people don't want to know where they come from, or
No,
they're
they
too
don't.
scared to find out where they come
Yes,
from.
they
Oh,
are.
because, oh, well, they might think my family. I found out I come from a long, strong lineage of people that work with Ogun in Yoruba. A long. And guess what? I knew that because Ogun, we good. How that energy shows up, live near railroad tracks. They're like, what? Oh yeah, death. Guess what? Always near cemetery. So I learned these different energies. So I learned that I was a medicine woman in my past life.
Yes.
That's why I walk like this. That's why the energy. Guess what? My ancestor that walked with me that I found out my first spiritual table, I have indigenous blood in me that's been a chief. I have more male energy that walked strongly with me and was able to pull them. I have a Congo African spirit that walks with me. I have an Asian ancestor that works with the herbs and the acupuncture of Asian, what they call Asian medicine. But spirit showed me that's not true. There was before them, there was another, and it was not called Asian medicine. And it was talking about the meridians. We only know
Yeah.
subpart. And spirit is like, let me show you, mama, what you're working with. And I'm
Yes.
like, okay. And then I'm like, okay, then I got my preacher, and I am an ordained minister too. I
Yep.
have been twice, doubly. So I got the minister side. So I got the spiritual side. That's why I can go in each organization and fit in and feel comfortable, whether it's synagogue, whether it's a mosque, or whether it's a Baptist church, Catholic church, Mormon church,
Yeah.
or wherever. I'm comfortable, non-denominational. I'm there. Okay, my gift, what are they saying? Oh, you love to sing. Your way of what you do is through music. How am I gonna get you back? What did they do? I was working on a song for 963B for you. Tones, G, Rife. Anybody know about G tones and cancer curing? Okay, we got you. I'm gonna get you Rife. Okay, that got you. Let's talk about solfege in the energy. Okay, what is those different tones that you hear? Because you play. Okay, and you sing. I used to do light music where I would sing with my voice for healing. And I stopped that. And Spirit's like, when you don't finish what you start, we'll take it from you and we'll give it to somebody else.
Oh, Lord have mercy. I just think about that because that is, I used to sing light language. And I have since I was a child, but back then they told us it was speaking in tongues.
Bingo.
I would always get that language. I got it from a child, and and I've always sang it. And I actually had a couple of sessions that is all I did for the lady
Right.
because that was what she needed.
See, and that's the thing that we don't understand. That's what our body is expressing from a higher than ourself because we don't understand it in this level right now.
Right.
And a lady told me, she said, you have a healing voice. And I was in Mexico when I was doing the light language. I was just singing just the same. And when we were online, it was something called, I think, Clubhouse. I
Yes,
found Clubhouse
yes.
and everybody was getting a healing. The next day they were trying to find me and the girl found me and I was in somebody else's room. She was like, "You need to come back." And I was like, "What's going on?" She was like, "Everybody was talking about how you were singing and how they had a healing." And I was like, "Okay." Now, the person that I have to be grateful to, not for the light, but the hands on healing, that I have healing hands and always had healing hands. He taught me to do that for my daughter. That is Ori. He said you have something. And then he said, I want to test something. So I was his test subject. I didn't know what healing is. My hands have always gotten hot. Like when I do different things, when I pray for people, when
Yeah,
I touch people, they back hurt. I was doing this since a little kid. So
yeah.
I've been healing people, but not realizing. No one said,
What
you
you're
know what,
doing.
you got healing hands.
Yeah.
What? That started. I did Reiki. Then I became Reiki master. Then I went into what was Kushim. Kushim. Did the Kushim. Got that. Then went in. I mean, I've done so many different things for healing, but it's like, okay, you're always upgrading. So, and that's what
And
spirit,
that's
you're
the point.
always upgrading. We're perfecting where I didn't know what medical intuitive is. Like I can see a person's body and I would see numbers like on a computer. And
Mhm.
I'd be like, the 7 is not there and it's this color. And I'm like, okay, I don't understand what's going on. I didn't know what was going on. And this was a person, Jethro. It was Psychics Gone Wild. I'm on the show and he's supposed to be giving me a reading.
Mm-hmm.
Me.
Mm-hmm.
What happens?
You give him one.
I'm giving him a reading, and Spirit is just like, okay, well, he needs to take this and that. And I told him, and he said, what did you just do? And I was like, I haven't a clue. I don't know what I
Look,
did.
you just trusted the process.
That's it. And that's the thing, we got to be just like children. When Spirit is working with you, like I told my son, I move by Spirit. Spirit has moved me every place that I've lived to a better place and something always much more wonderful. As you know, I got my house. And you know how picky I was about what I want, and people wanted me to accept. No, just go ahead and just accept this. And
Yes.
I'm like, this is
No,
not
because that's not
calling
what
to
I
me.
want. Mm-hmm.
Right. I got what I want and then some. I mean, it's not perfect, but guess what? But it will be because you know what? I did a show
Well,
with
it's perfect for you.
right,
Yes.
Jose, and he said, you know what? You can buy a home. When you do a renovation, you make it the most perfect that you want it to be.
That's
He
right.
said, you can do that. You start off, but I got the rawness of it. I actually walked on my land Saturday and was like, I have arrived. I am feeling all these energies. And I called on the energies from the birds to the trees to the flowers to the herbs. And I gave thanks because I am here and I plan to be here for many, 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 many years with my grandbabies. And we plan to be here for long. So we're going to provide you the loving energy that you have. Now, remember the troublesome neighbor that I had with the dog next door?
Yes.
Been
Gone.
nothing but nice, calm self trust cursing at me or whatever. All of a sudden, I'm driving up. Hi.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't do much. I mean, it's about, yes, I went over there and let them know, look, I might be 5'3", but I will blah, 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 blah. And then that energy, like, okay, dissipated. And I did what I kept doing what I'm doing. I'm building up my house. So sometimes when we move in a neighborhood, people get defensive because people move in and they move out. They don't know whether you're going to stay. And then, like, he thought I was a city slicker because that's what he said, to move back to the city. Sir, I'm not from the city. I'm not from the city. Um, as a matter of fact, I moved from another country here, sir.
I know that's right. But you know what it is people have preconceived notions about other people. And then there's always the preconceived cultural notions.
That one.
They look at us and they see different things and they don't realize, because you think about it, you're like, no, because somebody said something to me. I said, I wasn't really raised in the hood. I said, I
That
said,
one.
I said, we weren't. I don't know. I said, now, where I was raised mostly, it's gentrified,
Mm-hmm.
gentrifying it because it was the hood. But the
Mm-hmm.
hood back in the day was wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody looked out for everybody, and you had
Thank you.
50,000 mamas, and if you was out there doing something
Yep.
crazy, they could whip your behind and then take you home, and your mom
Yep.
took you behind
Whoop
too.
your butt again.
You got two. So, so that kind of stuff. But they have these preconceived notions, and we get it a lot of times.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I don't know. I think that is shifting as well. I think that with
It's
everything that is going on, it's shifting. It doesn't have a choice. It's got to.
it's big time. That's like I said, it's coming big time. That's what I said. I know things are going on, and I'm like, I'm excited
Me too.
because I can feel the shift. Like I said, just from my house, I can feel the shift of energy in the people I'm interacting with
Yes.
on a daily basis. I'm going to, matter of fact, reach out to Maggie. Um, and I said I wanted to find a place. Um, I'll talk to you about it maybe later. I want to actually do a workshop to show people how to make toothpaste,
Nice.
mouthwash, make their own soap, their
That's
laundry
amazing.
detergent soap from everything from natural,
Because
and
they're gonna
actually
need to
teach
do that
that they need to and how to do it, and save it saves you money, but it's
yes,
also friendly to the earth,
in the
and
body.
also how to basically go back and do what we did. Stop buying these polyester clothes.
Yes.
um, get back into natural stuff, and that you can actually make a shirt out of a corn husk. Did you know that?
No. It sounds
So
like something that you could do, but I had never experienced anything like that.
well, the clothes that people see me wear, like a lot of my clothes since I've been to Florida, I cannot wear certain things. I was breaking out. So your girl had to go shopping and spend, I think, $800. Oh yeah, $800 is not cheap. So I got 4 pairs of pants.
I was gonna say, but that's okay. You know why?
Two,
Because you're abundant.
there you go. So now I'm looking for a seamstress to make my clothes in the designs that I want, in the material that I want. And my friend's like, dang, now that's bougie. I said, no, it's not. I said it for years. And then when I said it, how about another girlfriend said, oh, I'm going to do that too. Another girlfriend said, oh, girl, you on to something.
I would like somebody to make me a model of my foot. And then I would like to go to Italy and have them make me some shoes because I
Girl.
have wide feet. And when I was growing up, I was only ever to use to wear penny loafers, tassel loafers, and them saddleback shoes. The black and white ones or the pink
Uh-huh.
or whatever the hell colors they had. But that was and the boat shoes.
Buster Brown shoes. They were called
Buster
Buster
Brown,
Browns
that's right.
because that's where you used to get them from, Buster Browns. They're the same shoes I used to wear.
All I could wear. And Tom McCann had a few wides, but that was all I could wear growing up because that's all they made for people with wide feet.
Well, you can find somebody because they're always a model. They're always looking for a model. So you put it out there. She's putting it out there.
Put it out
I
there.
put it out there, and guess what? It's gonna come because
Because
that's
I
what you
want
want.
some nice boots, like I have some short ones, and that's usually what I wear, but I want some nice boots, but I have to have them specially made because I'm
Right.
short and my legs are thick.
Thank you. That one.
So it's like, no, I need specially made, cute boots because I would like to wear some cute boots too.
Yeah. See, when my kids were, my son was what, 11. My daughter was 14, 15. I took them to Italy and we had clothes made. And my son
Nice.
had a suit. He had a pinstripe suit. It was yellow and
Oh,
it had
wow.
pinstripe. Cause I'm one of those, I like pink. Back then I was like, I like to stand out. It was like, okay, that was my thing. So I had a skirt made and the girl made it for me because I was short and heavy endowed. So I wanted the skirt and the shirt to puff out and my arms are out and just my back out. She made it, it was so beautiful. My son didn't realize that all those suits and stuff, when we got back here, you know how much those suits would have cost?
Uh-huh.
I'm
Hmm.
like, oh, what?
Yeah, a grip, especially, made to your size and all that. I mean, that's a grip.
Yeah, so when we
Especially.
when he got older, he couldn't wear them. Somebody else like they tried to do it and used it, and they were like, "Oh my gosh, this is good material. Like, where you get this from?" And then he's like, "It's no tag on it." I was like, "It was made in Italy." Huh? Yeah, it was made in Italy. My daughter, her clothes, same thing. Because she was only 5 feet thick, but she was 200 pounds. She's a big girl and heavy endowed. So you got to make stuff that is gonna hold
It
them
fit.
chunkies, right? So
Tell people
she,
that too. I'm like, I remember because I was 200 pounds when I hit Arizona. And I was
Mhm.
like, this got to go.
Yeah. So that's all I'm looking for. So hopefully I find if I can find me somebody that I can take material, because I was even thinking
And
about
you
going
putting
to
it out there, ain't
Vietnam.
no hopefully.
Yeah, well, I want to go to Vietnam and get made like the designer clothes that I see, but I want my material. And what is it, Shohan? I think it's Shohan. I want to go that I've been seeing them going to. I was like, y'all just don't know. Told my son I might get my surgery and be like, you know what? I'm going on an expedition and just be like, I'll see you later. My girl was like, you can't be going without me. I was like, sis, you
Got to
don't go
go.
on vacations, but we there. I love traveling. If you guys don't know, I love traveling.
So travel is my love language.
There you go.
I
See,
have,
so
I have put it out there. Somebody said, well, that's not one of the love language. I said, it's mine.
thank you.
I'm a creator. I can create my own love language.
Hell, hello. I love to travel. And that's what I said. So my mate that is coming, you're gonna have to love to travel. Like he's
Absolutely.
gonna have to love to travel, but he also gonna have to be speaking Mandarin. My friend was like, "What? That's a heavy burden." No, it's not.
No, it's
No, it's
not.
not. I
Because
was
if
like,
you
"That is
want
not a
it,
heavy burden for him
because
to
if
be
you
able to
want it,
speak
it's out there
Mandarin."
for you.
Right. See, I was like, "You bring a little something. If what I bring, we gonna bring equally. That we come together."
All
So
right.
that's what I put out there. But okay.
This has been amazing. I've enjoyed this immensely, but we're going to land this plane.
Yes.
So so I have one question that I ask
Okay.
every single one of my guests, and I've only gotten the same answer, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 times in over 300 interviews. So
Wow.
the question is, if there was anything in the world that you could change, what would that be and why?
What would I change? I would change the way we react to one another. That is because we come with fear, programmed from birth, training from our parents or ancestors or what we see in our environment when
Yeah.
we approach another person without even knowing them based on what we see, not what we know. That's what I would change because I want us to really get to know each individual because not one individual is alike. Even twins are not alike, even though they might look alike.
Right.
That's what I would change and why. Because I want us to be able to work in harmony and love and unite properly. Properly.
That is so
Okay.
awesome. That's
Okay.
awesome. That's because my answer was oneness.
Okay.
So very, very similar. So I'm like, yes, it's time. It's time for that. So
It is.
one last thing, one
Okay.
last word for the audience, and then share the best place for them to connect with you.
The best place to connect with me, I'm trying to think on because I got so many different things going on. It would be to Dreams Reality Ranch Farm on Facebook. And it's Dreams and the number two Reality Ranch Farm. Not TO, but the number two. That's important because they're like, I can't find you.
Yes.
Mm-mm. That is the best way of contacting me. Or you can go like, the YouTube. The YouTube, look at the Dreams Reality Ranch has its own channel as well. And then 963 has its own channel. So they're different entities for different things. So it all depends. If you fit in where you want to grow, and if you fit in your metaphysically alternative, you want to do healing, then that's where you go spiritually. You get spiritual here, but it's a different kind of spiritual. It's connecting to Mother Earth on
Yes.
Dreams to Reality. So
Yes.
there
Yes.
you go.
So thank you so much for joining me today. This has been phenomenal. Oh my God. I cannot wait to listen to it again.
Like, we did it.
I
We
know it's like, so for those of you that are watching or listening, wherever you are partaking in this experience, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. And make sure that you download these things so I can get the downloads up. Thank you. Have a great and wonderful rest of your day, evening, night, weekend, whatever it is for you. We are signing off.